Hello, I'm Adam, and I have spent about 3 days looking for an uninterruptible power supply, the UPS. And in this video I just want to give you a quick overview and some kind of a quick guide which UPS are worth to check, and generally I will share with the knowledge that I spent 3 days on. And after this video probably you will know which UPS would be great to buy. Okay, so first in just very three words, what's the UPS? It's some kind of a power supply with the battery. The battery this is very popular size of the battery. Yes, and generally it's let's say power strip with additional battery, and if electricity go down you will have uninterrupted power supply as the name says. Yeah. Okay, so what types we've got of the UPSs? First one is standby, is like other name is the offline. Generally it's the worst type of UPSs and I don't recommend them. Those are very first UPSs which are not doing anything but switching slowly from the AC to battery. So we've got of course all UPSs has surge protector, and yeah, in this case we've got only surge protector, and when electricity goes down it will switch to the battery source in pretty long time, I would say. That might be not sufficient to device don't turn off. It depends, etc. Summarizing, just ignore the offline or standby UPSs, it's the same, different name. Those are not worth mentioning. Yeah. Next we are going to line interactive UPS and online or double conversion UPS. In line interactive, those are most popular ones, and those are switching faster, like 5 milliseconds. So that's very enough for I would say all devices that I've got around. And what's special about those line interactive UPSs? Those had a voltage regulator, AVR. They are more complicated, but they are better because they can influence how the sine wave is going out this UPS. And there are two types of the line interactive UPSs. Those which output a pure sine wave, so we've got very nice sine wave output. And the other type is simulated sine wave, so the, as name says, simulated is not very nice, rounded. And what's the difference between them? The simulated wave, the devices can be sensitive for this type of sine wave. Some of them even may break. But the very good example is that, like, if you've got a fan, you will hear the difference in the supplies. So summarizing, I would recommend going for online UPS because I saw videos that the sine wave from the UPS can be better even than from the electricity. Yeah. And how does the line interactive and the offline UPS work? The rule is same. So we've got the so we've got the power from the electrical supply. Of course it's protected. Additionally, in line interactive it can be found, and it's going to our load, let's say PC. If voltage will drop under for example 180 volts or above 260, or it's selectable or you will get just blind, it will switch to the battery, and it will work without any interruption. That's the rule how those works. The last type is online or double conversion UPS, and in this case the working rule is like we are using electrical supply only to charge the battery. So there is one conversion from AC to charge the DC battery. And after that we are using a DC AC inverter to change the DC voltage from the battery to AC output, which goes, for example, to PC. And what this approach gives us? We are totally separated from the electrical supply, because as we can see, we are getting power from the battery, which is charging, and there are double conversions, so we are isolated, yeah. And the question, which one I should take? Online UPSs are pretty expensive, but what surprised me, the line interactive UPSs are, I wouldn't say those are cheap, but those are cheaper than I expected. And in many cases, like 90%, the line interactive UPS will be very okay. Online UPSs, I would use this in a very critical environment. For example, if you've got something medical connected to it, so I would go with online, because those are totally not sensitive for many things. And those can work with generators, so that's, yeah, if you got generator in your home, whatever. Okay, and now I've finished the overview. So we are looking for line interactive UPS with pure sine wave, because I want to have nice sine wave to the devices, yeah. And what next? There are a lot of UPSs, and the factor what I spotted, we need to go to the PC. I must tell you about this website, the power consumption database. So generally, as we can see, there are many other things, not the UPSs, but I want to talk about UPSs. So if, for example, we get a pretty nice brand, the APC. APC has the smart UPS series. We take this very popular one, I give it a look. And this is a very popular UPS. It's line interactive. It has pure sine wave, but there is one problem. It consumes 18 watts. That's a lot for doing nothing. So it consumes 18 watts, it can be noisy, it can be warm. That's not the way I would like to go, to be honest, because that's a lot for 24/7 online, yeah. And there the CyberPower company went. Let me sort it by the names, so I will go to see. And as we can see, CyberPower power consumption is about 5 watts. There is a pretty nice table with all models and values, and as we can see, I've got the 1500 model to the PC, and 900 for the home lab server, yeah, and it will consume 4 watts. 4 watts versus 18, that's huge difference if we are going to run it all the time, yeah. And that's why I went with CyberPower. I'm not sure what you will see. Oh my gosh, this box is too big. But anyway, I've got CyberPower because its power consumption is about 5 watts in the standby mode, so that's 4 times less than the APC. And yeah, it has the PFC, so the power factor correction. Generally it's increasing the efficiency. And AVR, yeah, that's the chip on the end which regulates the voltage. And now let's do an unboxing of this UPS, which is, to be honest, 7 kilograms and 8 kilograms with everything. I would say it's a okay. And that's how it looks. And the power cable and the UPS. Let's put it down. Okay. That's pretty small guy, I must say. Okay, so we've got the USB cable and instructions and the standard PC power supply, power cable, and that's how it looks like. And yeah, so 2 words about the sockets on the back. There are many types of sockets, so be aware of that, which type you are getting. And yeah, those are standard ones. There are EEC standard, those are for servers. So just keep in mind which type of socket do you buy. This is the most common, so yeah. And yeah, dimensions, let's measure. About 28 centimeters by, let's say, 10 centimeters, and it's like 24 centimeters tall. And yes, that's pretty nice. Oh, I need a screwdriver too. And yeah, this type of battery is hidden there. So you have to unscrew this cover and slide it, and there will be this kind of battery. And what about prices? As we can see, there is a... Oh, and 2 words about the parameters. So the main parameter of the UPS is VA, volt ampere, or the slash watts. The first value, yes, it's simply you take volts and multiply it by amps and you got the value. Watts is just the value in watts, because in DC you could just multiply volts per amp and you get watts. In AC that doesn't look like this, because you have to multiply it by cosinus factor or something, whatever. So in this case, this UPS has 540 watts output. So it might look it's too weak for my PC, and yes, I checked the PC and light and monitors, etc. output, and I was able to max it at about 700 watts. So that's a lot. But it was the 4 mark stress test. I'm not achieving these types of power consumption. But anyway, this one I have selected for my home lab. I will power the switch from this UPS. I will power my CWWK mini PC, which is acting as a server. And probably I will power TV from this, because I will have just, yeah. And yes, so summarizing, take care which watts are you buying and which power do you need. The good tip is to oversize the UPS anyway, because if, for example, I've got a second UPS which I bought for pretty cheap, around $80. Yes, $80 for 900 watts, and this one is for my PC. And this one has 2 batteries. Yeah, I'm after replacing them. Those cost about $20 each. That's not big to replace it every like 5 years or something. Yeah, so if I've got a pretty big UPS for my PC, it can provide the power supply for about 30 minutes. So that's a lot. This one is smaller, but the power consumption will be smaller, so I think I will get Wi-Fi, etc. working. I think 20 minutes would be pretty achievable. I will see. And yes, so remember just to oversize the UPS, to have a pretty nice time on the battery. And as you saw, there was a USB cable. Let's move to the PC and let's check the software which is provided to this CyberPower UPS. Unfortunately I couldn't change it to English, but whatever. I've got what's the output voltage, and I've got the status, and the battery is 100% charged, and battery is fully charged. It's saying me that with this power consumption, so my PC, 2 monitors and the lamp and another laptop in the standby mode, is consuming 150 watts. Of course, if I will do anything, it will rise. That's the, let's say, the first dashboard. In real, I was testing with this watts. I could achieve about 30 minutes, so that's very impressive. There are a lot of options which which you don't need to look into. There is a test which is switching it. Maybe you can hear it. Now I'm on the battery. And it's beeping. That means it's powered from the battery. And another thing to notice, the temperature of the UPS is normal. There is no fan. I mean, there is fan, but I'm not hearing any fan, any noise. This thing is consuming few watts on the standby, so nothing hits, nothing makes noise. So this is the really nice choice. Why I've got it connected to my PC? It got detected in a device manager as a battery, so the PC is more like the laptop now, and it can successfully power off your PC because the battery is low. That's great. That is working on the Windows 11. And it's not sponsored by CyberPower in any way. I just found that their UPSs are making pretty good job at low power consumption, so that's why I would recommend it. And so thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and hit the subscribe button. Bye.